Lisa here, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my January favorites. Y'all, I almost forgot to make this video, not even gonna lie. With 31 Days of Tarot and all the other fantastic stuff that I have been working on and filming and playing with, I literally almost forgot to do my favorites, which is hilarious because this is one of my favorite things ever. And I know I say that about a lot of the content that I make, but you guys, I really like talking to you about my favorite things and showing things, and YouTube is basically just my show and tell playground, and that's what I love about favorites videos. So I have a bunch of stuff next to me. I actually just had a whole armload of it so that I could take my thumbnail picture, but now we're gonna dive in. I'm gonna try to not forget categories because I do that all the time. Sometimes she'll be like, hey wait, you didn't talk about your YouTube favorites, and I'll be like, ah crap, I'm talking about my YouTube favorites. You know what, let's start with YouTube favorites. There's a good idea. So firstly, shout out to 31 Days of Tarot and everyone who made 31 Days of Tarot videos. I watched as many of them as I could cram into January, and I've got more sitting on my watch later list. I don't always comment on every video I watch, although I try to comment when I feel like I have something to add or something that I really want to say. But a lot of times, you guys, I'm just enjoying taking in everything and every perspective that I can. I just really enjoy watching. I also often watch while I'm working, like podcast style, and that's not always conducive to typing, so there's that. Please know that if you made 31 Days of Tarot videos, I probably watched like a good 30% at least of yours because I watched a lot of 31 Days of Tarot videos. I have to say my favorite question, one of my favorites, I loved the decade questions, but one of my favorite videos to watch of other people's was the underrated tarot deck videos. I loved seeing the decks you guys think are underrated, and I loved sharing my own. I loved seeing people give love to decks that maybe don't get that sort of big energetic push of maybe social media attention that other decks do, and that's one of my favorite things, is seeing what you think are kind of the underdogs in the tarot world. So I loved that one, and I loved hearing what, like, the decks that are your tried and true tarot, your tried and true oracle. I will put a link up in the playlist, or the, what do you call that, the cards, the info cards. I'll put a link up there for my 31 Days of Tarot 2020 playlist. I also participated in 31 Days of Tarot back in beginning of 2019, and thank you to Ethany for creating the prompts. It's a lot to keep up with all the videos that come out in January and to make a lot of videos in January, but it's one of my favorite things, so I really, really enjoyed it. That's got to be a favorite. Another YouTube favorite that I wanted to mention is mine, and it's my new Say Yes to the Deck series. I may have even mentioned this last month, I can't remember, but I think I did my first Say Yes to the Deck in January. I'm almost positive. Yeah, it had to be in January. So I will link my Say Yes to the Deck playlist. I think I have a playlist, yes. I will link the playlist up in the cards. I have my Say Yes to the Deck episode 1 and my haul video, and I made sure that my thumbnail for the haul video doesn't spoil what I ended up picking in Say Yes to the Deck so that you can watch it and be surprised. Probably. I've mentioned some of the... Anyway. It was fun. Say Yes to the Deck came about through a conversation and some brainstorming with Peggy, and it's just really, really fun. It's just me bringing you along with me as I decide what I'm gonna buy. And spoiler alert, I'm already planning my next episode of Say Yes to the Deck that I'm hoping to get out sometime this month, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Other YouTube favorites, there were so many. There was something else too. Oh, and another new series I started. It probably seems really like ridiculous that I'm like listing my own stuff as favorites, but I love making content as well as watching content. But the other one that's my favorite is Tarot by the Book. This is another new series I'm doing on my channel every Sunday. It's a general week ahead reading and sort of you being able to see my deck collection in action, like how it actually reads when I read with it intuitively. And then also at the end of each one of these videos, I read the guidebook entry for every single card in that 3-card week ahead spread, so you can kind of compare and contrast, and I can compare and contrast the way that I read those cards intuitively and then the way that the deck creator intended those cards to be interpreted, potentially, right? So you get to get a feel for the guidebook, a feel for the deck in action. It's kind of like a deck in action review and also a learning thing, and also it's really kind of a fun hybrid video, and I'm having fun with those. So because of that, I've moved my weekly deck reviews to Saturdays. So Saturday's weekly deck reviews and Sunday is Tarot by the Book, and I'm really enjoying those two a lot. So that's YouTube favorites. Okay, there's probably more stuff because I feel like I watch so much YouTube. Actually, let me give a shout out to a few creators whose content I always thoroughly enjoy, and I'm always very quick to click on their videos. So I want to mention Sarah at Sunset Bow Tarot. When she makes videos, she's probably the one, you know how you'll add videos to your watch later list? if you're like me, you add videos to your watch later list, and then you'll pull out the ones you're most excited to watch and like move them to the top. That's Sarah at Sunset Bow Tarot is like that for me. I really enjoy her energy. I feel like energetically, she feels like somebody that I have a lot in common with, and so I vibe with her. Do you know what I mean? When you find a creator you just kind of vibe with, she's like that for me. Julie at Peekaboo Rose, I love her content. She's got this, I say it every time I give her a shout out, but she's got this like deadpan kind of humor that sneaks up on me, and I'm very, I want to say kind of gullible in a way. So people making those kind of subtle jokes, I'm one of those people that has the delayed reaction and then literally can't stop laughing, and she does that to me all the time. I love watching her videos, and they both did 31 days of tarot in sort of batches, and I loved watching their videos about that. And I'll try to remember to shout out a couple of creators every month on my favorites if I can think about it. There's so many people I love watching. I love watching Dan at Epine Do Veils Witch's Moon box unboxings. I really enjoy his energy, and he's always so excited by the things he gets in his boxes. So yeah, that's who I'm gonna call out because I just did that on the fly. I didn't plan that for this month, and I'll try to remember to add some in as well for next month. I think that a lot of times we can get caught up in the creators that sort of have this like high sub count and like the ones that we sort of regularly watch, and we forget to sort of mine out those beautiful treasures. And there's so many great creators in the tarot tube sphere that are worth watching, and those are some that definitely I wanted to mention. Another one I've recently discovered or rediscovered is Strength from Tarot. Okay, now I'm gonna wrap it up. It's gonna be hard because I'm gonna want to mention all of these names, but yeah, there's lots of people to watch, and those are some creators I'm really enjoying. So let's talk about movies. The only movie I went and saw this month was, and I only see about one a month if I'm lucky, but I went and saw Dr. Dolittle. That was really, really cute. I heard it got abysmal reviews. I never look at reviews because I just want to, am I going to enjoy the movie or am I not going to enjoy the movie? And if it's a kid's movie or it's aimed at children, I'm probably going to like it on some level. I like it a little bit more, even though I don't want to admit this, when it makes me cry, which most kids' movies do. Dr. Dolittle was one of those sort of fun, happy-go-lucky kind of movies. There was no real heartbreaking moments. There was some like, aw, and that was about it. So it didn't like really tear my heart open or anything. But on the flip side, it also didn't tear my heart open, so that was kind of nice for a change. But it was really cute. I enjoyed it. Another movie that I watched this month, just at home on Netflix, was Incredibles 2. Yeah, Incredibles 2. The Incredibles movies are so cute. If you have not seen Incredibles 1 or Incredibles 2, then go watch you some Incredibles 1 and then watch you some Incredibles 2 because they're really funny and entertaining, and I love them, and Peggy loves them, which is great because I don't get to make her watch kids movies with me all that often. That's kind of my thing. So when she likes one, I'm like all about it. So that's movies. Let's talk about food. Okay, so fair warning, I have a lot to say about food. Firstly, Peggy and I discovered a new bakery through some friends. It's a 24-hour bakery, which is absolutely dangerous and evil. And it's located about 30-35 minutes away from us, but conveniently fairly close to where our youngest man-child works. So occasionally, if we're picking him up from work, we'll just swing into that 24-hour bakery because he gets off work at like 10-11 p.m. and we'll pick up some goodies. And I could literally list almost every single thing I've had from there as a food favorite. And we had like a mega haul from this bakery at the beginning of January, and it was amazing. But like cherry strudel, oh god, it's so good. These Cornish meat pasties that are like little hand pies, and they're savory, and they have like beef, and so delicious. They have the most amazing donuts. They have French crullers that are out of this world. Apple fritters that are like as big as your head. Yeah, I've had a lot of their foods. The only thing I think I've gotten from them that I'm not a huge fan of is the pecan butter tarts that they make, because I'm kind of used to the crappier grocery store version of pecan butter tarts, and I really like the crappy grocery store version of pecan butter tarts. So I'm not a fan of those necessarily, but they have a delightful raspberry cheesecake. I had a chocolate eclair that was absolute heaven. I've been there like an embarrassing number of times since I first had something from there. And it was all because I went to a gathering and somebody had brought a blueberry strudel to that gathering from this bakery, and then it was all over. I don't even like blueberries, but it was enough. And all she wrote. So yeah, there's that. Other food favorites, Peggy and I this is now the 5th week. We're on week 5. We have been testing meal kit delivery services. So we have tested HelloFresh, which is an American company, Chef's Plate, which is an American company, Good Food, which is a Canadian company. Good Food's inexpensive second cousin, which is called Yum, and Fresh Prep, which is a local Vancouver-based company. And meal kit delivery services are services where you basically get a box, and in this box is however many meals you've paid for, so maybe 3 meals or 4 meals with either 2 servings or 4 servings per meal. And it's like all the ingredients you need, and then you get like a recipe card and you cook up those meals, and it's just a really great alternative to like eating out and that kind of thing. So we've been testing these out. I have been filming bits and pieces and taking pictures of the meals we've been creating and all of that stuff, and I will probably throw that sort of mushed together vloggy kind of video recap of our experiences. I'll probably put that up on my channel at some point when I can get around to editing it, because there's a lot of clips and pictures and things, but it'll happen. If you want to see that, let me know down below. If you're like, why would you put up a vlog about cooking on your YouTube tarot channel, then feel free to let me know that down below too, because your feedback matters. I can always put it up on a second channel. Peggy and I have a vlog channel that I've done nothing with at all. I can always throw it up over there, so whatever, let me know. I'll still probably do what I want anyways, but it'd be nice to know how many people I'm going to either annoy or make happy with that decision, so that at least I don't go in blind. Let's see, let's talk about herbs and crystals, because I want to. So the first, actually no, I'm gonna dial it back. I'm gonna talk about memories because things kind of tie in together. So memories wise, I went to a gathering at a friend's and went to this chakra crystal tarot reading hybrid kind of thing, and I got this really beautiful reading involving chakra crystals that were tossed out onto a casting cloth, and then an accompanying tarot reading, and like 2 friends kind of worked in tandem to give me this reading, and it was really beautiful. It meant a lot to me. And then afterwards we sat around and we made bracelets out of beads that correspond with the chakras that we either need to pull more energy from, or like balance more or harmonize more or whatnot. And I made this really lovely bracelet there. So it's kind of funky, but it's got my root chakra stones here, and it's got some sacral chakra stones here. Chakral, I just said chakral. Sacral chakra stones. And then I've got some throat chakra and a bit of crown chakra in here, I believe it was, or was it third eye? Third eye. Yeah, third eye, throat, sacral, and root. And I've been wearing this bracelet a ton. The cord that came in the kit that we did these readings from or whatever is like a really nice quality stretchy elastic cord, so it's held up really well. I've been wearing it a lot. I've been kind of keeping that reading close to my mind as I've been reading it, and that's been really nice. So this is a crystal favorite, but that was the memory that I wanted to share. I feel like there were so many other things this past month, and I'm drawing a total blank, and I didn't do as good a job of journaling as I went through the month. But this was definitely a really fun thing. Peggy and I have had some really great like personal breakthrough kind of conversations this month that have been really healing and really beautiful. So that's something that I'm kind of treasuring as well from January, especially around things that relate to my own self-care and my personal growth, and acknowledging, you know, where I struggle. And, you know, I've had some beautiful moments in January around that sort of stuff, and honoring myself and my needs, and being really compassionate with myself and all that kind of stuff. So that's definitely in there as well. And okay, so let's talk about crystals and herbs, because I wanted to talk about that memory before I shared this, but this is one of my favorites, crystal favorites for the month of January. Another favorite is this gorgeous raw piece of lepidolite that was a Yule gift from Dustin over at Modern Metaphysic Man. Thank you, Dustin. I have 2 polished pieces of lepidolite, but I do not have a raw piece. Heads up, I'm also working on getting a crystal collection video up on my channel soon, so comment down below if you're looking forward to that, and I'll move it up the queue. It just needs to be edited and stuff like that, but this didn't make it into that video because I got it right after I'd filmed that, but this is definitely a favorite, so I wanted to show it here. It's really beautiful. Lepidolite has this really wonderful, nurturing, and inner child friendly kind of energy, and I love it. Another crystal favorite was the fossilized, okay, how do you say this? I'm gonna look at the tag to cheat. Fossil turretel shell, and it's been aura coated. This is a pendant that I bought myself from the Moon Market, from Witch's Moon. It has a white, no, is it pink topaz? Oh, it's backwards in here. No, I think it's white topaz. I think it's white topaz up at the top there in the setting. It was backwards, but there you go. It's got a really nice weight to it. This is really wonderful for connecting me to that sort of oceany energy, and I do work with ocean deity, so this means a lot to me, and it's something that I wore a lot through January. So that's a favorite. And probably my favorite because it was handmade and it's so beautiful are these gorgeous prayer beads that my friend Erica made. She used to have a channel called Raw Spirit, and she's taking a social media break, but I just wanted to share this. She designed this for me to represent all of the moon phases. It has these gorgeous charms. On one end there's like a Wheel of the Year charm that's got all 4 seasons represented, and then on the other side I've got a sun and moon charm, and then on the other end of these prayer beads is a pentacle charm on one side and then a moon phase charm on the other. I absolutely love them. They're a really nice length. This is my longest set. She's made me another set that was smaller, that's keyed to the ocean deity that I work with, but these are just really lovely, and they've been living up on my tarot altar where I do my my spiritual tarot work and my moon work, and I really love those. Herbs is another gift, and this is a gorgeous, this smells so divine. I'm like hesitant to burn it. I'm working on a rosemary bundle right now, but this is probably the one I'm going to burn next. It's a sage eucalyptus bundle, and this was made for me by Dustin at Modern Metaphysic Man. He has a really great witchy shop, metaphysical shop that he has been building up and just doing fantastic with. I love seeing pictures of all his new pretties. Anyways, he sent me this with the lepidolite for Yule, and I just love it, and it smells so good. So it's a favorite, even though I haven't burned it yet, because it smells good even before you burn it. You know how you have like herbs sometimes smell like they have that sweeter, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a sage wand but sweeter, and I love that. So that is that. What else do I have? Okay, let's talk magic. I've only got one magic thing to share, and I'm so proud of this, but I have this puppet that I made. Now, I was inspired by a video that Kelly Ann Maddox made ages ago talking about puppets and how she uses them. I think it was part of a Self-Worth September or Self-Love September series that she does. But I have been wanting to make one of these ever since. It's been on my to-do list, but I got my own sewing machine recently and I've been doing some small projects, and this was one of the very first things I wanted to do, and I'm so proud of it. So I kind of made the shape, I cut her out, I did all my own sewing, and inside is a smaller pouch that has like some bits that are me in there. So this has been charging on my altar, and I'm going to be using her for sympathetic magic on myself. So anything related to sort of my own nurturing that I need, or self-love, or protection magic, or anything where I'm like casting something on myself, this gives me a sympathetic tool to use with that. So I'm really excited, and I'm so pleased with how she turned out. And I love this pink camo fabric, and I love that it's like lighter on one side and kind of darker on the other. It's sort of, to me, it's kind of like light me, shadow me, light me, shadow me. I don't know, I love it. So I'm really proud of that. And that was the magic favorite I had to share. Decks and books. Decks and books. I know that's what we're all excited about. And I never do timestamps because I'm a jerk. And I want you to watch the whole thing. Pro tip. Super secret squirrel stuff over here. But if one of you guys wants to put timestamps in the comments, I mean, feel free. I can't stop you. I'm just saying. Anyway, okay, let's talk about decks. So I didn't have a ton to share because in January, as a lot of you know, I was working exclusively for tarot with the Alchemical Tarot by Robert M. Place. So of course, this is a favorite. I really enjoyed my month with it. If I hadn't enjoyed it for the full month, I would have begged out early and just switched to something else. But I really enjoyed working with this. It's full of depth and meaning, and I feel like I learned a lot during my time with this deck. I also feel like it re-anchored me in what I love about my tarot practice and about daily journaling and daily tarot draws and all that kind of stuff. Now, it does come in a tuck box, and I also printed off of Robert's website. He has it available for you to print for personal use, a little white book for this deck. My nose is itchy. So I printed it in like teeny tiny so that I could have it booklet sized, and I rounded the corners, and that lives in my tarot bag with this and with my extra lovers card because there's 2 in this deck and you can choose which one you want to work with. And so that all lives together. Again, I really enjoyed it. I've got 0 complaints. But the other tarot deck I did work with right at the very end of January, so I guess I didn't work with that. I worked with that for 4 weeks. But for 1 week I worked with the Tarot of the Alchemical Magnum Opus, which is the distilled down version of the same deck. So it's a lot more pippish. It's woodcut style artwork, like it was designed to have a limited color palette and be a lot more simple. And again, distilled down, and it's absolutely beautiful. I really enjoyed working with this, and as I mentioned in my weekly deck reviews video, which if I remember, I will link in the cards if I remember. But what I liked about this is that it was less overwhelming in a way to work with than the Alchemical Tarot. It felt more straightforward, but I really, really like both, and the box for this is so, I've mentioned it before, but it's really lovely. It's a lovely box. And I know I probably shouldn't geek out just about the box, but I did. Also, my light is failing because it's turning into nighttime here already. Crazy. At the time I'm filming this anyway. The other deck that I wanted to talk about was an Oracle deck that I worked with in January for 2 weeks, and that is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. I have the first edition of this, the out of print edition of this deck. I also had a mass market edition, but that is already arranged. I technically have it, but it's arranged for trade with somebody. But I really enjoy this deck. Now, the first edition has a slightly thicker cardstock, and I believe the colors are slightly more muted than the new edition, but beside that, they're identical. The books are identical, and I have done a side-by-side of the two. I will link that up in the cards if I remember, or if I have enough cards left. But I did do a side-by-side of the first edition and of the reprint. That actual copy of the first edition I ended up rehoming, and then I found another copy of the first edition for inexpensive in my local area, and I was like, welp, I'm meant to have this one. I just dropped it. Anyway, I love working with this deck. It's very straightforward. It's wonderful for predictive style readings. I feel like it's got light and shadow. It kind of calls you out on your crap, but it also can be really reassuring and wonderful and light to work with. The book is amazing, and it's basically based on classical astrology. So the 7 classical planets, you got the sun, the moon, Venus, Jupiter. Why am I trying to list planets? That was really dumb. The moon, Saturn, Mars. Did I forget anybody? I'm not sure. Well, the 7 classical planets. If I didn't just list 7, there's somebody missing, and I'm very, very sorry to whoever that was. I'll make it up to you later. Yeah. But anyway, it's got those planets and then the signs in those planets. So, or sorry, the planets in those signs. I'm really bad at explaining this, you guys. So this one, for example, would be Capricorn in, nope, sorry, Saturn. The Saturn symbol's right there in Leo. This one would be Mars in Leo. And they make sense when you think about the planet and you think about the energy of the sign as well. This one is Mercury. That's who I was forgetting. Mercury in Gemini. I have to look because I can't see on the screen. Jupiter in Sagittarius, etc. So if you're interested in astrology, this is a fun one. Weirdly, the first edition, or this copy of the first edition that I got, the corners were like weirdly ragged. Like some of them were rounded and some of them were kind of more square, as if they were either very badly machine cut, or whoever had them, they weren't square to begin with and somebody had hand cut to round the corners. I don't know what it was, but they were annoying me. So I went at it with my corner rounder, and now they're smooth and they're perfect and all is right with the world again. That is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And let's talk about books. So I've only got 2 to mention, kind of. The first one, because this is what I read in all of January, and I'm so proud of myself. This is the Tarot, Magic, Alchemy, Hermeticism, and Neoplatonism, the 2nd edition. This includes a guide to the Waite-Smith Tarot, the Alchemical Tarot, and the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery by Robert M. Place. This is a fantastic book. I read it cover to cover. I'm so pleased with myself. I really, really am. There's a lot of really great tidbits. I've got things permanently bookmarked in here for easy reference later. It's really, really good. I don't think you can find this on Amazon. I think you need to buy this directly from Robert M. Place. Or I also think I got this copy actually from Tarot BG. And I think that's because at a certain dollar amount with Tarot BG, they offer free worldwide shipping. Don't quote me on that. I feel like that's why I ended up going with Tarot BGs, because I was also buying a couple of other things. And so I was able to get free shipping, because this is a very, very heavy, dense book. And if you buy it from Robert, you will pay a hefty shipping fee. It's not his fault. Shipping is what it is. it's just a heavy book, so it's expensive to ship. So if you can get it from someplace where you can get that bundled shipping, that might be a good idea. But I think you do have to hunt for an independent seller, like somebody who's bought it in wholesale from Robert and is reselling it, or buy it from Robert himself. Wonderful book. Love it. Highly recommend having in your library. It's like an amazing history of the tarot and prehistory of the tarot. It's so good. And secondly, there are some people who occasionally watch my videos. I feel like I'm sinking. I think it's my memory foam. I'm just gonna lower the camera. There are a couple people who regularly watch my videos, I think, who are gonna be very excited about this, but I am finally reading the Raven Cycle series. So I'm on book 2 by Maggie Stiefvater, The Dream Thieves. The first one is called The Raven Boys. I believe there's 1 or 2 more books after that in the series, and I am like going through these so fast. I'm completely caught up. I'm way back excited to be reading young adult fiction again. I'm loving these stories so much. And it's actually the reason that I started reading these is because I've had a copy of Maggie Stiefvater's Raven's Prophecy Tarot for like a long time. Like it was an impulse buy Halloween over a year ago. And I trimmed my copy and I edged it in orange, and then I was like, nah, we're not getting along. And I put it away, and I intended to trade or sell it, but a couple people, I think I want to say it was either Sarah at Sunset Bow Tarot or Julie at Peekaboo Rose was talking about the Raven's Prophecy Tarot recently, and I was like, or the Raven Cycle books, and I was like, before I rehome the deck, I really should read the books, because sometimes that changes your opinion on things, right? If you know the stories that kind of maybe inspired it. So I'm gonna check out the rest of the books, and then I'm gonna take another look at this deck and see if I still want to rehome this, and if I do, then I will, but we'll see. Okay, last category is random. I think beauty, skincare, and random. I'm just gonna like throw it all in together. I already talked about meal kit services in food. Other random thing, I sewed another thing. Okay, it didn't come out perfect, but I'm so proud of myself anyway. I made myself an eye mask. I sewed it up out of fleece, and I put a little Velcro pocket in it. And inside I have a little pillow. It's not cute, but I made this little pillow to go inside of it. And it is filled with lavender and mugwort and a little bit of polyfill. And I did it this way so that I can change out and make different kinds of herbal pillows to go in this sleep mask. But you guys, I was so proud of myself. It came out so good, and I've been sleeping with it, and I find sleep masks really help me sleep better at night. Sometimes I go through phases where I actually want a little light, and then sometimes I go through phases where I need a lot of dark. And that's the phase I'm in right now. So I've been really, really enjoying this. It's really cozy. I did have a little snafu with my elastic not being quite in the right spot on both sides. I have another design for an eye mask that I'm going to be making a little bit later that I'm excited to dive into, but I'm still super proud. Super proud. And lastly, just a couple little skincare things that I wanted to mention. Beauty skincare things I wanted to mention. I think that's it. Oh wait, one more random. My podcast favorite, which is Speaking of Which with Sammy and Skylar. I really am enjoying. Okay, I was like, did I just get his name wrong? No, Sammy and Skylar. I've been really enjoying it, and one of the most recent episodes I watched, or listened to, I listen on YouTube, so I say watched, but there's no visual, it's just sound. I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. Anyway, beauty, skincare, real quick, and we're gonna close this out. I have been loving the 100% cold pressed virgin marula oil. This is by The Ordinary. There's a brand, Drunk Elephant, where you can get marula oil and it costs you about $100 or something ridiculous, at least in Canada. This was like $7 and it's incredible. I like to mix a little bit in with my foundation. Sometimes I put it on at night, every night before I go to bed, and then I put my moisturizer on over top. I love this. This is also great on lips before you put a lip balm on to sort of heal and repair. Especially in the cold winter months. This is an amazing like facial beauty oil in general. It absorbs quickly, it feels really good, and I'm like halfway through this bottle. And I've only had it like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. And my favorite moisturizer, I got this in my Boxy Luxe box for December, and it is this Saturday Skin Glacial Waterfall Cream. Oh my god, this is the best moisturizer, the most luxurious feeling moisturizer I've ever used on my face. It is so, so gorgeous. It's like a gel, but it absorbs really nicely, and it's like thicker than like a watery gel. It's so heavenly. I love it so, so much. All right, you guys, that is it. That's it for my January favorites. Thank you for hanging out with me. Remember, if you want to book a reading, you can do that at supportivetarot.com. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment some of your favorites down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!